We're live. Hi, guys. Welcome to Business Power Hour. I'm really excited. I was telling Sage before we started, I'm on vacation with my family and I canceled all my calls except for this one. And the only reason I didn't cancel this one because I was like, the lineup's kind of fire. I was like, what are the chances I can get all of them to reschedule on the same date? Probably very slim, like before the end of the year. So I was like, okay, I'll do Power Hour because the lineup's sick. And like, you're welcome, you guys. I'm on vacation with my entire family. I do have you guys set up on a cardboard box and I am sitting on the floor. I'm also hiding in an attic away from my family and I can't guarantee that they're not going to yell or the dogs. We have 5 dogs, so the dogs aren't going to be insane. So anything could happen. It's an exciting episode here. Will my cardboard box hold up for an hour? I don't know. Tune in to find out. I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves. I am really, really excited about this lineup. So I'll let them introduce themselves. You guys tell them who you are, what you do, and then they brought free gifts for you guys. So tell them about the free gifts and let them know all the things. Sage, you want to go first?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey there, I'm Sage Grayson, and I'm a former book editor turned life and business coach. And since 2011, I've been helping ambitious women edit their habits, routines, and mindsets to balance their happiness at work and home. Or, as I like to say, I'm a life editor, and so are you. You can find me at sagegrayson.com. And today, the freebie I have for you is Make Money with Freebies. How to give more to earn more. And this video course will help you choose the right freebie for the right audience so that you can set up your funnels and get daily sales.
Nice. You guys definitely want to go grab that, especially if you're like, what do I do with my freebie? And like, what needs to happen with it? Go grab that from Sage. And Monica, you want to go?
I was going to say, that's a tough one to follow. Mine's not going to be as engaging.
Sage is a life editor. So, I mean, I'm always like beautifully curated. And I'm like in here on the floor in my sweater, like whatever. It's making us all look bad.
I'm more on the wing it side. So let me wing it. Okay. So my name's Monica Froese. I help content creators turn their content into profitable digital products and sell them in an e-commerce shop. So I do know what I do at least. So we got that going for us. I'll lead with my main website at this point is our digital product shop. It's called Empowered Shop. So it's empoweredshop.com. And let's see, the freebie I have today is I picked the CEO Starter Toolkit. I don't remember why I picked it, to be honest with you, but it's like a top seller. People love it in the shop. It's basically, I'm a huge goal planner and numbers person. So it's like basically how I run my business on the back end. The link is really long, so they're going to have to drop it in the chat for you.
We'll put it in
I did not pretty link it. I didn't get that fancy, but
no, y'all are good. We'll link it for them. We'll link it below. And Monica's been on the podcast before. And if you want to hear about Monica meeting Obama, go check out the other episode we did.
I did do that.
She tried to like skirt by that in her intro. I was like, I'm gonna need to circle back to like you meeting Obama. I need to know everything.
No, I used to talk about it all the time, and then I kind of stopped. And so when I drop it now, people are shocked. I was like, I feel like I talked about it so much before that just
I've never heard that from you. I was like, excuse me. And then Cora Lynn, what about you?
Yeah, so I'm curious on the Obama tea, first and foremost.
I need the other podcast episode to find out.
I need to know what's going on there. But Cora Lynn Hazelwood, I help coaches, course creators, consultants, and strategists essentially scale their businesses using group coaching programs, digital products, memberships, all of that kind of fun stuff. I actually love the technical side. So I love the analytics. I love the back-end web development. I love the systemization. And I have this like flair for messaging as well, kind of sprinkled in there, which I absolutely love. In terms of the freebie that we have today, it's 300 profitable Instagram story prompts. Ooh. And while I originally designed this for Instagram story, a lot of our community actually uses it for just all different types of content, whether that's a reel or a YouTube video or a podcast episode. And it's like this beautiful little Notion dashboard where you can track if you've used it. They're categorized by engagement, sales, leads, all of the fun stuff. So it's systemized for you as well.
Yeah. Well, if you know you need to post more, I feel like a lot of us have that thought, like, I should be posting more. Go grab that and then just go down the list. And I'll tell you, Cora Lynn, I don't know if I ever told you this, but sometimes when I'm coaching people in the mastermind and they're like, I want to post and I don't know what to post, I'll be like, follow Cora Lynn on Instagram stories. And every time she shares a testimonial, share a testimonial. And every time she talks about her program, you talk about your program. I just have them use your Instagram stories as a template because you're really good at it. Like, she's really good at showing, like, I'm like, she does a good mix of behind the scenes of her life and tips and then promoting her product. And I feel like you do that really well. And so I'm like, look at the different kinds. And then when she's sharing behind the scenes, you share behind the scenes.
That's just like such an honor of a compliment, because when anyone comes to me and says like my brain isn't working the way I wanted to, I'm like, go see Faith, she'll kick you in the ass. Like,
all right, let's circle it back. We're going to talk about customer experience. I really want to talk about, like, how do you guys turn one-time customers into like multiple buyers, into people that will promote your stuff? I always tell the mastermind, I'm like, if you can get 10 people that really love what you're doing and they talk about your stuff and they're talking about, anytime somebody brings it up in a Facebook group, they're going to go in there and like plug your stuff. That can change your business. Like, it really can change the trajectory of your business. And I think it's been a huge part of our strategy, just because I haven't had a lead gen strategy as a business coach until recently. So most of the scaling we did up to 200 was all referrals and word of mouth and that type of thing. So I want to hear from you guys, like, what is something you've implemented to like up your customer experience recently? Like, what's kind of like, or like, what's your favorite thing that you've implemented to kind of improve your customer experience and get people to become big fans of yours?
Yeah.
Sage looks like she's got something to say. Go for it.
So I implemented this change this year, and it's definitely become what I've been known for. I've implemented $7 tripwires on everything. It doesn't matter if the digital product was originally $27 or even $597. In the next 15 minutes, you can get it for $7. So I try to get people to buy within the first 15 minutes that they hear about my business. So any link that I share, whether I share it on social media, in an email, anywhere, or any of the links on my everything page, they all go to $7 countdown tripwire pages. So I've noticed that if I get people to buy really, really quickly, well, then they get to join my client only group where everyone's talking about my stuff and lifting each other up. But they're more likely to buy more. So if I can get them over the hump of buying something, anything, then they're more likely to buy more and more and more.
I love that your take, like, you're like, I provide value and provide more value to my customers by giving them a great deal on my stuff, right? And I think that's a big mindset shift for a lot of new online business owners. I work with a lot of people that feel really cringy about sales and feel weird. And so I think that's a really good mindset shift for a lot of you, is like, people want a good deal on your thing. And I was telling the mastermind the other night, I was like, you know, when you are going to Target and you're kind of eyeing something and you're like, oh, that's cute, but you're like, I don't want to pay $50 for it. And then it goes on clearance and you're like, hell yeah, I'm getting that for $20.
Yes.
And so it's like exciting, right? To get something that's useful, that's well, like goes with what they already bought, right? That you know they're already interested in. And then you're like, I'm going to hook them up with like a crazy deal on it, right?
Crazy deals.
Yeah.
And the people who buy my $7 tripwires, they go on to buy more, in many cases, my entire catalog in a day. And they become my best affiliate members because they got something at such a great deal. They go and tell all their friends about me. So it's this compounding effect. If you get them early, get them in on a great deal, they're going to be your super fans and they're going to love you forever.
Yeah, that's awesome. What about you, Monica? I know you guys do a lot of bumps and sales. She's like the sales queen.
Well, I mean, so when we went the shop model, it made getting return customers so much easier because it's our central call to action. We don't send them around to all these different sales pages and like put your credit card here and then there. So it simplified our sales process. But I actually got one out. It's called Monica Money.
Oh my God.
It has changed a lot. And then on the back, so I'm gonna explain how I use it. There's a QR code and then I can put the code and stuff. So, okay, this is how
they're just losing it. They're all like, oh my God, I need that.
So Monica Money is like a gift card to the Empowered Shop. And the way, so what I realized when I got the shop was we've always had a super low refund rate. And I think to our credit, I think we're very transparent about what you're getting from us. We don't really get a lot of complaints. We really don't get chargebacks. We're just very transparent about what you're getting.
I gotta pause you right there. I think that's a really big thing when you're talking about customer experience is like managing expectations and being very clear about exactly what they get, who it's for and who it's not for. And a lot of it is like keeping the wrong people out, right?
Yes.
So that way people buy it that are right for it and they have a good experience. Okay. I just had to flag that because I was like, that's a big one. Okay, go ahead.
So now so essentially when we issue a credit to our shop, it's like twofold. First of all, it solves a lot of customer service issues. Like it's so easy for us to issue a credit. If someone's having an issue, if they double bought something, which we get a lot because we do have a lot of super fans, there's just various reasons why instead of actually giving money back and taking money out of your business, instead we can give a delightful experience. Like I had someone who had a complaint the other day and I offered her $100 Monica money and it like took her angst away. I mean, I didn't necessarily even agree with what she was saying, to be honest with you. But the thing is that she walked away feeling a lot better. But I took it to the next level. So it became a thing where I realized it was helping keep customers happy. It gets them back to the shop. So that's the other thing. I'm all about getting more added to the cart. So if you get back on a gift card, I'm probably still going to get money from you because I get more and more added to the cart. And a return customer. But then I took it to the next level and there's a report you can run called a top customer report. And that's where this came from. So it's not like I go to craft fairs or anything. I sell everything. I don't sell physical products. It's just digital. But I take my top customer report and I handwrite out a nice note saying, like you were a top customer this last quarter in the shop. Here's a $50 credit. And people get snail mail. And I have the little stickers somewhere in here. Like I always wear, I don't do failure shirt. I am empowered. These are things I say all the time in my community. And I just stick that in with them. And then they scan the QR code and can use it. So this basically has allowed us to keep people happy and get people back to shop with us.
That's awesome. If you guys are interested in digital shops, I'm working with Monica. She's helping me set mine up. And I'm like slowly but surely. It is on my list of things to finish this week while I'm at the River House. So I'm getting there. But I think the stuff she's doing is really cool with the Monica money. And she has lots of different little hacks like that if you have a shop or you're interested in being on Shopify.
Did you watch the video in the digital shop experience about the shop credits yet?
All I've gotten to is setting up the tech part and I have to make 10 listings and I think I have 6. So I've got 4 more to do, but I'm excited to watch. I've seen it. I'm excited to go through and set it all up and optimize it and everything.
Cause I'm just really, I mean, I always want what really came across to me is how easy it is to keep people happy. And it's such an easy thing for us to do,
I like that you said you were like, I had a complaint and I didn't even agree with it, but I gave her a credit anyway. And one of my gripes, I think, with the coaching industry and personal development industry is this insane, no refund ever policy everybody has. And I just feel like, that's a really good example of pretty much any other industry. I grew up working in the service industry, anywhere you work always tells you the customer is always right. Even if they're being an asshole, you still try to make it right with them and try to be nice to them and try to give them something, right? So they have a good experience because people in other businesses understand how important it is. Customer experience is so important. And I feel like in this industry, a lot of the attitude is no refunds, that's that. I don't care, whatever. And I'm I don't understand that. It makes no other business or industry would do that. That's crazy.
Our official policy on downloadable digital products is no refunds, but we're not ridiculous. It's a legal thing.
Yeah,
we have to have legal terms in place, but we're very, I'm like you, I take it. Why make someone mad for no reason? I don't have a
conversation with people. A lot of times if you just talk to people and you're just I didn't see that, but I see how you could see that. I see that, right?
Yeah.
If you just acknowledge them and people feel heard, I think that's most of it, right?
It's funny because the further along I get my business too, I don't let people just walk all over me. I actually send back, if depending on the complaint, I'll give, if I don't agree and there's a good reason why, I'll tell them why in a very polite way. But I still offer. I'm okay. still
Yeah.
offer it to them. And I can't think of a time, almost all of, I've even had people come back and apologize for complaining after. I'm like,
Well, and the Monica money is so brilliant too, because you're giving them credit to the shop. So it's not really costing you, like you're having to give them refunds out of your bank account, right? So it's kind of like it's a win for you and a win for them. And I think that's awesome. And then what about you, Cora Lynn? I know you guys work a lot on like customer retention and all that.
Yeah, for me, I think our strategies or our tactics are a little bit different than some of the ones that we've discussed here, which I love. For us, we really have this mentality of when you put people over profit, profit always follows. And when you make every single customer feel seen, heard, and understood right out of the gate, that creates that kind of like lifetime customer that you want. So we really focus on just like genuinely getting to know people, having conversations with people in the DMs, making sure that we are answering emails. And every single one of our digital products, like we always preface it with like clear lines of communication, how to reach us, good feedback, bad feedback. We want to hear it all, wins, lows, highs, like we want to hear it all. And like we really advocate for people to reach out to us no matter where they're at. I think from like a strategic standpoint, there's a lot of things that we do. There's like the thank you notes that we send. We have like custom post-it notes that we send out. Doesn't matter if you spend $10,000 with me or $7 with me, like we'll just randomly draw names out of a hat and send a bunch out each month. I think that makes a huge difference and makes your digital experience very tactile as well. We'll have automated email sequences that do check-ins, right? So just daily check-ins with clients or every couple months, depending on what that container actually looks like. We think those are really great ways to do it. And then the way that we design our products is very intentional. They're not long-winded. They're short. They're sweet. They're to the point. This is what you need to know. This is why it's important. This is how you do it. Here's, go do it. Come back, keep going. And so I think a big part of digital products is like respecting people's time when you create the product as well, and like making it consumable, making it an exciting place to be. But first and foremost, it's just every single person matters. Every dollar that comes through that door is not just a dollar that comes through the door. It's a human being who's like trusted to spend their money with us. And we want to do what we can to make sure this is a great experience. We do offer refund policies, actually. Like, I'll give you your money back. I don't care. Like, digital product download doesn't matter to me. Like, you get in the door and it's not right for you. I clearly didn't market it right. That's on me. That's not on you. So like, yeah, sure. Here's your money back and keep the product. I don't mind, actually. Is that standard? No. But we have a very high client retention rate. A lot of our clients stick with us for years and years and years. And I think it's simply because of that personal touch that we like really weave into everything that we do.
Yeah, I like that all of you guys are talking about customer service stuff, because I feel like a lot of people come into this industry and have like been sold like, oh, it's passive income and you make up $1 billion and you work 4 hours a week. And like a lot of people I'll be coaching, like we were talking about, something like I'll tell people to do is like just send everybody that signs up for your launch like a Loom video and just say like hi to them and thank them and like just send them a custom one. And sometimes people will be like, well, but I'm not going to be able to do that like when I have all these people. And I'm like, you don't have all those people right now. I'm like, once you have so much business, like it's unsustainable, we can have a different conversation. But a lot of people are unwilling to kind of do the extra steps because they're like, well, I'm not going to be able to do this forever for everyone. And it's like, but can you do it right now? And when you're starting, all you have is your reputation, right? And so when you're starting, you need to be building your reputation. And that means like, you should be going above and beyond. There's a lot of other people probably in every industry that are more experienced than you, that have a better reputation, and your customers are trusting you to help them over all these other people. Right. And so I think like the least we can do is kind of take that extra time. I'm curious. I've got to like pick everybody's brain. Y'all know I'm nosy. I'm curious. Do you guys do any kind of like data collection or surveys, or how do you kind of gauge like if your products are working and where you want to improve things? Or do you go through like every so often and update them? Like, how do you do that quality control, I guess, in your business?
I'll share a little bit. So we have like feedback surveys baked into every single one of our course. And I think what a lot of people go wrong with feedback surveys is like just putting them at the end, but we actually do like qualitative in the beginning. So like, let's just say that it's a sales program or a content program. We'll ask questions that we can qualify on a scale of like 1 to 10, like how confident do you feel in your content or creating content at this moment in time? And so you really want to get into, or we really focus on like helping them quantify where they're at, how they're feeling, how much their output is, how good they feel about what they're putting out there, what their actual sales volume are, if that's what we're working on. And then we'll do that intermittently. So like every 2 to 3 modules, it's the same thing. It's the exact same survey over time throughout the course. And we incentivize people to do them as well. So like we do monthly draws for simple things like coffee gift cards, Amazon gift cards, just to incentivize people to go through that. And then that data is something that we look at. And then the other data that we really look at is like the course progress reports. And depending on what platform you're using, you can see where your clients are kind of like, how many people are actually going through, who's stuck, like where did they all fall off? And so we're looking for patterns, and I'll go look at those videos and go, oh, that was a 45-minute video and nobody freaking came back to it this course after that. And I'll shorten it up and I'll make it sweeter and I'll make it more actionable. And then kind of, hey, there's a new module here, push people back into it and kind of get the ball rolling and see where they're stuck again. So I'm always looking at the progress data.
That's a good point. Once you guys have a big, especially if you have a long course and you put a lot of people through it, you'll start seeing like they all make it to here. And you're like, oh, like this, whatever was in this is like, you know, too much, or I need to break it apart, or I need to like make better steps or more support or do a call for them or something. And I love that idea, Cora Lynn, about doing a baseline. So you guys get a baseline when they come in of where they're at, and then you have them like update it after each section in your program. That's so smart. I love that idea.
It allows us to say like 80% of students feel more confident creating content on our sales page, or like 60% of students reported having more sales than prior to doing this program. Whereas like sometimes it's really hard to get those tangible results, right? Like out of digital products, to get people to give you that. And so for us, the scale of 1 to 10 thing, as well as some of those like, well, how are you feeling? Just letting them kind of brain dump is a messaging like golden nugget pot. Like just your intake forms, your outtake forms are like messaging gold, right? And so, yeah, it's been a really incredible thing that we've been able to put in, and that's changed truly the way that I create products in general as well.
Yeah, I love the idea of using those percentages for like qualitative, like 80% people feel more confident. Like we're trying to move away from income-based marketing just because I hate this industry sometimes. And I just like don't want to be part of it sometimes, you know, and I'll be honest with you, it's hard. Like it would be a lot easier I have those success stories, right? Where people have come in the program, but they came in with an audience or they came in with some kind of expertise and I polished them up, right? And then they have like a 14K month. Like it would be easy for me to put that up and make sales and be like, oh, like, you know, she had her $14,000 month after being in the program for 6 weeks. But those aren't like expectations I want people to come in. And I feel like if I set unrealistic expectations for people, they're going to be more likely to not have a good experience in my program. So I really like the idea, like as we're pivoting, I never did a ton of it, but I'm really trying to just move out of it altogether. And as we're like moving out of those income kind of, I don't know, claims or whatever, or testimonials, I like the idea of like doing the survey. That's really, really good. Yeah, Sage, go.
Oh, so
like, I thought you were going to say something.
I'm always picking my clients' brains. Like constantly, I'm asking them for feedback and advice. I have a small but mighty, a client-only group. There's only about 600 of us in there, but it's so active and so engaged. And I'm always asking them, like, what problems are you facing? And then I make courses or do live streams based on their questions. So one of the things that kept coming up over and over again was how a lot of my followers, in order to keep their businesses running, they have to go into debt, or they have to steal from their savings, or they're constantly asking their spouse to pay for something. And so I'm like, you can't do this. You can't do this. So we just did a live stream this week that was 5 hours long. It was amazing. And it's called The Self-Sustaining Business, How to Get Your Biz to Pay for Itself. And that was literally pulled out of the feedback that I was getting, that people like wanted to scale their businesses. They wanted to have these better systems and software in place, but they couldn't afford it. So we all talked about how to get your business to pay for itself so that you're not dipping into your savings. So you're not scrambling and getting into debt. Like my followers are all beginner business owners within the first year of having their business. And they're making all the same mistakes that I made. So when I can talk to them and see like what problems they're facing, I can tell them how I overcame them too, and make the right courses that they actually need.
Yeah, I think that's a good point too. And I see a lot of people kind of hiding behind their computers, right? And I'm always like, get people on Zoom, talk to them, like have conversations with them. And, you know, in my program, we're live with all of them for hours every week. So I feel like we have a good sense of like what people are like, you know, if people are all asking us the same questions and stuff. But I'm like, if you don't have a program where you're regularly talking and interacting to people, like you need to make that part of your business where you're getting on a call with people or really talking to people face to face too. Like we do surveys and I think that's great, but if you're new, you really need to hear people tell you what they're struggling with and have conversations with them. And I think you'll get a ton of insight from that. And they'll tell you. I love that. Just pick their brain. They'll tell you.
Oh, they love telling you what's not working.
They're like, I want this. We do that in the mastermind too, where I'm like, we're going to make a bonus for you guys. Go fill out the survey so I can figure out what everybody needs. Yes. Right. And then everybody's like, oh, like, I want this. And then what about you, Monica? Do you guys do any kind of like, how do you decide when to update programs or keep track of things are working? Or
so in the larger programs I'm similar with collecting data. I actually wrote down, we probably could do more qualitative points, but there's always an intake, which the majority of people do fill in, and it actually sets their goals. And we're pretty big on getting people to set goals with dates, so they actually follow through. Because I always say, I'm not selling you a passive program. And like when people ask, how long does your program take? I'm like, you're literally doing stuff along with me. So I can't actually answer that because it really depends on how fast you work. It's not a passive thing. My programs are not passive. So we do that inside the programs. When you buy stuff from our shop, an automated review process goes out. So there's a few things here. We sell in such volume that one, you'll learn pretty quick if something's not working. People will tell you. Customer service is like, and that's the kind of stuff that you should listen to, because like there's so many things that we have automated and streamlined because it kept coming up in our customer service. So the review template goes out, and clearly if you're not, like, we get pretty much all 5-star reviews. And if we weren't, that I would if I started getting 1-star reviews on a product, I'd be like, okay, well, there's a problem here, and we would fix it. A lot of our downloadable type products, they really don't require updating like the courses do, but our courses get swept through every year at least, if we're still actively selling it, that is. And then there was another point I had. Oh, we do send out usually once or twice a year a list-wide survey. I've said this forever. People love telling you their problems. I mean, we do this thing where, so it is pretty quick in terms of responding. It's, like check boxes, but we leave a non-required open forum box. And I have gotten life stories. I actually printed it off and took it on a plane once because I wanted to like go through and see like what people were saying. It was like 54 pages. And like, it kind of blew my mind, honestly, how much people, when you give them the open forum to tell you what they need. And then you can use that exact words like in your marketing, right? Like, so that has actually, the open forum boxes, I don't know why I call it that. That's what I call it. The open forum box probably has given me the best, like qualitative, almost like their words, so I don't know. That's what we do. And what you guys were talking, there's always ways to do this to improve, I think. But like, if I had to narrow down, like the one thing that I think probably is the biggest impact in this is paying attention to what's coming in on your inboxes. I'm not in my inboxes, but every single email that goes to our 2 inboxes actually does get routed to my work email. And people are always shocked that I get every single order notification and open up every single order notification, because that shows me trends. It shows what people are buying. I pick up on a lot of things by doing that. And so even though I'm not the one answering, I see all those emails. So I see if people are having problems, and we fix it. just fix the problems.
Better. What do you guys think? I work with a lot of people that are like newer to this whole world, right? And a lot of them want to do courses or programs, but a lot of people are like, but I don't know if it's going to be good. And like, I don't know, like, at what level I can deliver, or like, what if nobody gets results, or what if everybody asks for a refund? What if everybody hates me?
Yeah.
What advice do you guys have for like people that are launching their first product to make sure their customers have a good experience? Like, what are kind of the foundational things you think people should make sure they have in place?
I'll take that one. So one thing that I really work hard getting my clients to do is to remember that your products and your courses and your freebies and things you put out there, they are not your babies. They are not your babies. You don't need to like protect them and love up on them for weeks or months or whatever. Get your courses out there as fast as you can, imperfectly. So one of my bestsellers is the 2-day product producer, which helps you create a digital product in under 2 days. And I set that goal for myself to create all of my courses in under 8 hours, from coming up with the name of the course to the payment processor is all set up and people can buy it. So I don't treat my courses as being precious. So if you can just focus on getting the solution out there as fast as you can to the people who need it, they will love you for it. You'll be able to keep up with trends too. And if somebody tells you that something's not working and they're really struggling somewhere, you can get the solution in their hands really, really fast. So I focus on doing that. If you've seen any of my stuff, you know I don't really care about typos. I don't really care about formatting issues. A lot of my recordings are kind of like wonky sounding, but that's okay because people are still getting value out of them. So when you get things out there faster, then that you get feedback faster. So you can hear like, oh, I really like this course, but I wish it had this module or this lesson, or I wish there was a worksheet on this in it. And then you can update it. You can update it. You can update anything you put out there. So don't even try to get things right on the first try, because you never, ever will. Get it out there fast, get the feedback, keep iterating it, keep making it better and better. And just focus on actually helping the people rather than trying to make this glorious, beautiful thing that has like a huge launch for it. Just get the stuff out there. Get it out to the people who need it.
I do a lot of my stuff live just because I cannot sit down and record hours and hours of content. That sounds like the worst to me. And so, and people hate when I tell them, especially in the mastermind, when I'm like, pre-sell it and then tell them they're going to get a module every week, and like I'll be like, do the first 2 or 3. So you're like a couple weeks ahead of them or a few weeks ahead of them. And then as they go through, you can record those modules. But I really like doing it live because then you can get that feedback. Like if you miss something or they're all stuck, you're like, oh, I need to add something in, or I need to do something to help people through this step, or, oh, I thought I explained it, but they're all struggling with this in the Facebook group. So like we need to add a little module on there or a little bonus thing in there. So I'm into the feedback too. And I think you got to get your first version out. You know, the first version I had of the mastermind wasn't as good as it is now. And I'm sure like in a couple years, the version we have now won't be as good as the one we have then. Yeah. But I can't get there if I would have never launched it, right, and put it out.
Yeah. I share this story that one of my top sellers, it's like I've got somewhere around 35 digital courses. And like the third bestseller is about sales multipliers. And I recorded it when I had long-term COVID. And it sounds like it. So I'm like, okay, let's talk about order bumps. but it continues to be a bestseller because the content is so good. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if your audio is a little wonky. They just want the information that can help them. So I tell them, like, did you listen to that course? Did you see how bad it was? It's one of my best sellers. Put your course out there. Just get it out there.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat as you, Faith, whether it's a digital download, a product, a full course, a group program. I don't create anything before I sell it. So I'm huge on pre-selling, and people always say to me, but like, it's a PDF guide. Like I can't pre-sell that. I'm like, no, you can't. Like you pre-bought that Sarah J. Maas book and you're going to pre-buy the next one, and you can do it.
I just did a huge pre-sale for a $50 offer, and it was actually I was like shocked, but I was a huge cash generator for us that I wasn't expecting. Because I was like, I was like, well, I'm going to sell it for $97, but if you buy in the pre-sale, it's $49.97. And we just gave them like an insane deal, and it sold like crazy. But I need that to be able to get it done. Otherwise I procrastinate
Same.
forever.
I do, when I'm pre-selling something as well, I do the same thing as I would if the program was up and running. So like they buy, there's an intake form. What are you expecting from this? What are you looking to take away with? Like, what's the number one thing that if we gave you, you'd be satisfied with? And then as you're rolling it out, you're like, how are you guys feeling with this content? What's happening? Even if it's not like a live group program, but more of a course, like having them know that like the reason why we're pre-selling it, it's a new product. We need your feedback and input. It's going to make it better. Like, everything is pre-sold. Everything is pre-sold.
Yeah.
I can't not pre-sell at this point.
I have so much going on. I feel like if I don't have like deadlines where it's like people have paid and they need the modules, like there's always other little fires and other little things that need my attention, and it gets put off every day and it never gets done. So to me, it like really keeps my feet in the fire to like keep making products and keep putting stuff out there and building out our product line. What about you, Monica? What do you think for newbie people? What would you tell them? Make sure their stuff is good.
Okay, so I'm definitely in the camp here of like people procrastinate way too much with getting stuff out there, and it's kind of frustrating to watch sometimes too, because I always my thing that I tell people is there's no such thing as bad data, and so if you don't put it out there, you get nothing back, and then it's just like a gigantic circle of waste of time. Like, so listen, you're not going to have a perfect first product. It's not feasible. You can definitely do things, I think, to like due diligence, for example. Like the first spreadsheet I launched, I did a video walkthrough on how to use it. But honestly, ever since that, like the amount of iterations that we've made when we realized like when something was confusing, like one of the formulas confused people, or like then we learned how to lock the formulas, and then people stopped deleting the formulas, so it was way less customer service problems. And those are just things you learn when people don't hesitate to tell you when they have a problem. So if it's not meeting their needs, or you need to iterate, you'll figure it out pretty fast.
Yeah, I like the like just get it out there thing too. And I've coached a lot of people at this point, and I'll tell you, the people that drag their feet the most, that want it to be perfect, that like just procrastinate, those are often the most talented fucking people. And it drives me crazy because I'm like, you need to get this out like yesterday. Like they're like the people with tons of knowledge that have been studying something their whole lives or have been teaching in person for years, and like they just drag their feet on it. It's never the people dragging their feet are never the people just looking for a cash grab, right? It's like the people that are like really care and like really have the most value to give that are often the slowest. And that like I think is a little painful for, I'm sure for you guys too, to watch with our clients, where it's like, I want like, help me help you. I'm like, please get this done so I can help you sell it.
I think a lot of that is because like they have an expert skill to sell, but they're not business people. And yeah. Like one of the advantages I really feel like all of this became accidental for me. I kind of fell into it, but I have my MBA in finance and I grew up in corporate America. So running a business is kind of second nature to me, like the concepts behind it. But when I got into this world, I realized that is not how most people come in. Like no. That's actually that's a leveraged skill I have, and most people don't have it in this industry.
Yeah, it's a whole separate game, right? Because you really have to be an expert in what you're getting people results in, but then you have to be able to run a business and manage your time and manage the team and manage money and like all these different, and write your copy and market it and do sales and grow an audience. There's all these other things I think that, but I always tell people, I'm like, I can help you do all that, but you got to have something to sell. Like, that's the first thing I ask people when I am coaching them, where they're like, I'm not making enough money. Like, I really need help. And I'm like, okay, what are you selling? And they're like, nothing. And I'm like, well, I'm like, I can't help you. Like, if you're not, you need to make a product and I can help you sell it. But if you don't have anything to sell, like, this is not a business. Like, that's not a business. Like, I don't know what that is, but I can't help you get more money if there's nothing to sell. Like, businesses need something to sell. Yeah. What do you guys think about negative feedback? Because that's something I hear too, is like people are so scared. And I was scared too, like when I started, where I was like, oh my gosh, like what if people ask for a refund? What do you guys, can you give people a little pep talk about the scary negative feedback?
I will take that. It gets easier. First of all, it gets easier. The more you sell, you learn how to develop a thicker skin, and also you learn how to edit the valid complaints to the non-valid complaints. And I'll tell you what changed it for me. So I get asked a lot, how do I protect myself from being stolen? I go, can we swear? I don't know. All my, what's been stolen. All my shit's been stolen. Every single freaking thing I have ever done. And when it got really bad, this is what changed it. It was late 2019, and I got targeted with a Facebook ad. So at the time I was teaching Pinterest advertising, I pretty much had the only course in this industry on it. I was like the only one teaching it. And I get targeted with an ad. And something about the ad told me that this was going to be my content. So I went through the funnel, and and at the time, my funnel was a free 5-day challenge that led into the course. So is this person's. I get in there, I start listening to her videos, and she's talking about my kids. Like, she took my entire thing, transcribed it, redid my
my
slide. It was something like me, but creepy, because like talking about my kids like being hers. And I was devastated. And this was not even the first time that course had been ripped off. It threw me. It threw me for like a week. I had a really tough time with it. On the heels of that, I had another student come in who was trying to poach students for her ad agency. Yeah. And then she joined a mastermind on my heels and then stole all my content, but then told her lawyer that it was we were peers, and like that I was allowing her to do it because she followed me into this program. It was weird. I've had weird things happen to me. After those two experiences, I was like, so here's the deal. For me, here's my lawyer. I will win. I copyright everything. We copyright everything, because if you don't formally copyright, you can't go after damages. So don't mess with me. And I make it very clear. I'm like, you literally will get sued. I have sued people over my trademark. It's that simple. That's how you run a business. If you want to protect your IP, that's your job actually as a business owner, is to protect your IP. And when you have a trademark, it's your job to police your trademark. Otherwise, it's not as strong. And so I do. I just Redefining Moms, our original brand, is trademarked, and someone learned the hard way. I just closed that, and I will spend money to do it. That's the other thing. You have to be willing to, if this is what you're going to do, be willing to protect yourself. And I always say I'm a right fighter. So this person's lawyer said that they didn't expect this mommy blog to have these kind of resources, and now I'm like, now you're done. Now you've
dug your own grave, you just fell into it, and I'm gonna bury you with my mommy shovel.
And my lawyer goes, well, clearly you didn't do your research on the mommy blogger, because you would have discovered I had multiple brands. And yeah, when he said that, I was like, you will lose.
Yeah, I think everybody's had their own like painful experiences in business, and I think I'm like, welcome to entrepreneurship. I'm like, part of it is really fun and really great and really awesome. And like everybody I know that is an entrepreneur that has started their own business and built a following and done their marketing and done all this stuff, like they have had some painful experiences. Like there's going to be parts of it that feel bad, that make you angry, that make you sad, that make you disappointed, that make you frustrated. But what we teach in the mastermind is like, you have the capacity to handle that. And I really think a lot of entrepreneurship is like, can you expand your capacity for discomfort? And I think as I go along, I'm like, I can be pissed off. I can be sad. I can be disappointed. Right. And it'll be fine. And I think getting those skills to process through those emotions is really important. And as you do it more, it does get easier. Like Monica was saying, like it does get easier. You get used to like a new level of discomfort almost, I think, where that stuff probably wouldn't rattle you as much now, right? It's like after you kind of go through certain experiences, you're like, well, yeah, somebody stole my stuff. I just sent a cease and desist recently to someone also. They stole our pitch emails that we use for our events, copy and pasted them, and forgot to take part of my info out, and then was taking them and pitching people I know. And they were like, is this your event? It has like your stuff on it. And I was like, no, it's not. Like, where did you get that? And they're like, I thought that was weird, like that you were doing that. And so my partner, I'm not as scary as Monica, but my partner is an attorney. So I was like, could I have a scary lawyer letter, please? So could I have cease and desist? Thank you.
I think Two, like there's a big mindset part of this conversation as well. And it's like when you're first starting out, at least when I was first starting out, I was like very codependent with my business. Like I wanted everyone to love me. Like I thought I had to make everybody happy, people pleaser, anonymous, like over here, like fully in recovery, will admit it. And I think you end up getting to this point where you're like, no, I have me. Like, what's that? Is it Eleanor Roosevelt? Like, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. And it's like, you really have to apply that here. It's like, I get bad feedback, but I get to decide if that has meaning. I get to decide if that has weight or if it has value. And for me, because I am a bit of a sensitive system over here, I like to make people happy. You know, I love to be loved. It's just part of my human nature. And I think all of ours, I have a rule, like if 3 people say the same thing to me, unless it's like a glaring, like this link is broken or like this thing doesn't work. But if 3 people say the same thing to me, like I got to look at it. But if one person just comes out of the woodwork and is like, that's bullshit, why did you say that? I'm like, you can take a hike, you know, like see you later. This isn't, you know, this is my channel. This is my space. This is my business. And like, I love you guys. I want to make everybody happy, but I'm also not willing to compromise my values or what I believe in or like my strong beliefs in order to do that. And I think eventually you get that tougher skin and you get this, like, regardless what happens, like I have myself and I know my value and I know my power, and people can only take that away from me if I let them. And I used to let them a lot, but over time, I'm just like, it's fine. They'll find someone else.
I think being able to like look at your stuff and take feedback is really important. But then it's also important, like, you don't let people walk all over you. You don't let people shit on you on your own social media. I'm like, you don't get to like come on my Instagram and tell me I'm an idiot. Like, you don't get to do that. Like, so you get to have like boundaries too. And I think, you know, people love to share their opinions on the internet, and like that's just how it is, and that's fine. But I'm like, you don't have to let them say whatever they want on your page. Yeah. Sage, were you gonna go? I thought you were gonna say. I was like,
I get lots of nasty comments on social media. Never
I
about.
feel like you're such a delight. Like, you're way nicer than me. If Sage is getting complaints, like there you go.
Well, here's the thing. It's never about my work. It's always about my appearance. So I just have people like, things I can't say, but like lots of things about, I'm a bisexual too, and I'm a Buddhist, and lots of people like to call me fat and ugly, and like they're saying all sorts of horrible things about me and my appearance, but never about my work and what I put out into the world. So I'm like, that's all you got. That's all you got. It's just, you don't have anything to say about my business and how I teach. It's always got to be like some kind of appearance-based attack. So I just delete and ban them. And I tell my clients to do the same thing. Like, you wouldn't have somebody come into your house and crap all over the place and just leave it. No, you would kick them out and get them out of there. But also, I get lots of angry emails every single week. Again, not for my stuff. I set a goal for myself to do bundles and summits as my main marketing this year. And this week, since January 1st, I have reached my 100th bundle of the year that I participated in.
I thought I would do a lot. That's a lot.
It's the Leads to Dollars bundle this week is number 100. But because I've done so many bundles and summits, and I'm constantly emailing my list saying, here's the bundle that I'm in this week, I get lots of angry emails from people who can't access things in the bundle, or like the vast majority of them is somebody in the bundle is using a pop-up, and lots of people can't see the pop-ups on whatever browser that they're using, so they can't get the stuff in the bundle, or somebody's links are broken. And my huge pet peeve is that the bundle host often doesn't have their contact information on the bundle page. So the only person they can get is me. And I tell them I'm just an innocent participant in this bundle, but I'm the only one they can reach. And so the way that I handle these complaints is, first, of course, I go to the bundle host. I'm like, can you fix this? The link's not broken. The pop-ups aren't working. And sometimes, a lot less than I wish, sometimes they graciously fix it. Most of the time they do not, which is very, very frustrating, because I'm putting these links to these bundles out to my list. And though it's not my bundle, it still makes me look really, really bad. And so one of the things that we teach in Buddhism is that in any situation, we have a response ability. So it's our ability to respond. So this is not my fault, but it is my duty to fix it. So people are familiar with my whoops emails. I seem to send them like every other month. So I send out a whoops email saying, sorry, that bundle was crappy and you weren't able to get the stuff in the bundle and it's not working. I always give them whatever I had in the bundle for free. I'm not able to give them like the other stuff in the bundle for free, but I always give them what I had in the bundle for free. And then I give them another course for free. This goes out to my entire list, whether they signed up for the bundle or not. I'm sorry, here's what was in the bundle. It's free for you. Here's another thing that's free for you right now. And I just apologize. And I think taking responsibility for things that are not my fault has really transformed my business because people trust me now to fix a problem, even if it's not my problem to fix. And because I call out the bundles on the crappy things that they do, because I've done so many bundles. And I have a 100 bundle debrief coming very soon, where I spill all the dirty details about bundles and summits. I think, I don't know, it endears them to me because they know I'm going to try to make it better the best I can. Even if I'm not able to fix the actual problem, at least I can smooth it over in the capacity that I have.
Yeah, I think that's what Cora Lynn was kind of saying too, about how you try to make everybody feel like seen and heard. Like a lot of times people just want to know like you give a fuck and like you are doing something, and they're like I feel like most people are pretty forgiving if you apologize and want to make things right. Like people are usually pretty receptive to that. Like people don't want to be angry. They don't want to have a bad experience. Like they bought your products. They want to have a good experience, right? And I think that's always possible. I'm like, it's possible for us to win and them to win. And there's always, I'm like, problems can't exist without solutions. There has to be some kind of solution we can do to fix it. If you guys want to be in a great bundle, I've got 2 coming up before the end of the year, and we do a ton of quality control. We test every page, and if I get any email that stuff isn't working, we pull your page down. So everybody knows their stuff needs to be working. And we have all niche B2C. So if you're looking for B2C bundles, I'd love to have you. And we spend a lot of time testing those pages. But to your point, Sage, it's like to make sure people are having a good experience and that they will keep working with us and signing up and doing all that. So I think that's a good point too, is like, if you're putting something out, like take the extra time to test it and just always be working to make it better. Right? We didn't used to have those processes, but then after our first one, we were like, oh, we need to test all the pages, and we need to have a policy, like if your link is broken, that we can pull your stuff down, and like we need to figure all this out. So it's always like starting where you are and then building those policies out to improve customer experience as you go. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to be here. I appreciate all of you. I respect all of you so much. This really is like my dream panel. So thank you guys for taking the time. Can you guys go around one more time, just for people that just came on, and tell everybody who you are, tell us where to stalk you, where's your favorite place to hang out on the internet, and then plug your free gift again before we get out of here.
I'm so happy to be here. I'm Sage Grayson, and you can find me at sagegrayson.com. That's the best place to find me. And my freebie for you is make money with freebies. Give more to earn more. It's going to help you create the right freebies for the right audience. We're going to fix your funnel so you get those daily sales from your freebies.
Awesome. Monica, you want to go?
Yes, I'm Monica Froese, and you can find me at empoweredshop.com. And our freebie is the CEO Starter Toolkit, which I think that's what we call it. But it's really cool, actually. It's got lots of nice templates and stuff to help you organize everything to do with your digital business.
And
Awesome.
I'm Cora Lynn Hazelwood. Our website is scalingbydesign.com, but I'm mostly on Instagram and Threads these days. So definitely head over there. My whole life is on there for y'all to creep out and hang out with us. Our freebie is the 300 Instagram story bank on prompts, 300 Instagram story bank prompts. I need to name things smaller. I can
never remember. We always do like alliteration when we're doing mine, and then I can't say it on camera. It'll be like the best boss bundle, and I'm like, I don't know. So I got you.
Anyways, it's a beautiful Notion dashboard. It'll help you have more engaging conversations through Instagram stories. It'll help you find your hot leads, and it'll also give you exciting ways to sell your products from multiple different angles. It works as videos, podcasts, and all of the things. So definitely check that out. It's my actual sales prompts from the last 3 years. 4 years.
Awesome. I'm Faith Mariah. This is Business Power Hour. You can check out all of the past past episodes, past replays, what are they called? Past episodes of the show at faithmariah.com. If you go to the blog, they're all on there. And they're also on the podcast. If you want to subscribe to the podcast, go to faithmariah.com. My email newsletter has kind of been fire lately. I'm not going to lie. I've been doing Mindset Reset, which is like a mindset pep talk, quick action steps you can do in your business right now. And then my favorite things from the week. And I've been sending that out every week. So you guys, you kind of need it. You kind of do need it. And if you want to know about our bundles and events, we do a lot of stuff to help people in the community grow their business and try to create opportunities for small business owners to grow. So get on the email list and you'll be up to date on everything we're doing. Thank you guys so much for being here. I am like so thankful you took the time, truly. And I really, really appreciate all of you. And that's it. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Okay.